The more that I talk with couples, I begin to realize that despite of all of the bad relationship talk that's out there, there are definitely some good ones as well. We cannot continue to be fooled that every relationship is bad. Typically, the loudest voice in the room gets the most attention. And that's what's happening with bad relationships. They're doing more talking and they're yelling the loudest. But I believe it's time for the good relationships, the positive and the great relationships to become louder and let it become the norm and not the anomaly. As I stated over and over in season 1, and yes, I'm going to continue to do it in season 2, talking about relationships having two people working together. Even when both people are working together, there will be some battles that they have to face. That's why we have Relationship Therapy Podcasts, just for that.
You've tuned into the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony Miller Sr., a podcast designed for couples who are married, couples who are dating, and have marriage in their future. We will guide you to the principles that will make your relationship better. Stick around. You might just learn something that will help your relationship last longer, grow stronger, and become healthier. Now, here's your host, Tony Miller Sr.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Relationship Therapy Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Miller Sr., and welcome back, and we're back. This is season 2 of this podcast, and we're excited to come back and bring you some more good tips and principles on how to keep your relationship strong, how to make it healthier, and how to make it last longer. We thank everybody for all the calls and emails. When are you going to start back? Hey, we missing you guys. When are you going to bring us some more good stuff? And we're getting started right now. Let's dive right in. Today, we're going to be talking about deep love. And the title of this first episode of season 2 is called, they call it Deep Love. There is life left in relationships. Don't believe the hype that there are not any good relationships out there. I have been meeting some amazing couples who are really carrying the banner of powerful relationships. And when I find them, I must carry on a conversation in order to know what they consider to be the keys to getting to this level of deep love. You know, so often they say that they have weathered so many storms and now they're at the stage in their lives where they're in deep love. And I wanted them to explain that to me. And so after they explained it to me, before we go any further, I got to explain it to you. What is this with deep love? Let me give you a clue. It will take some time to reach this deep love status. So if you're here looking for a quick fix to get to deep love, this particular episode may not be for you. But as we go further, there are 4 stages that each couple that spends an ample amount of time together will go through. So let's go. The first stage that the couple will have to go through is the euphoric stage. The euphoric stage is the beginning stage of the relationship. This happens because you have become captivated by this new person in your life. You are fascinated. You are just totally overwhelmed by them being in your life. All you seem to do is think about them all the time. And when you think about them when you wake up in the morning. You think about them while you're on your job. You even think about them at night, right before bed. This particular person is now always on your mind. Also in this euphoric stage, you are easy to forgive their mistakes or their faults. And the truth is, sometimes because you're so much in a euphoric state, you miss some of their faults and their mistakes. You are so caught up that you don't even notice some of their bad habits. You remember back in high school when we used to call it butterflies rumbling in our stomach every time we saw that special person? Well, that's how this euphoric stage is. And studies have shown that this stage lasts anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. It depends on the individuals involved. All you need to know is you want it to make it last forever, just like Keith Sweat. That's number one, the euphoric stage. But then here's the second stage of love. It's called the early attachment stage. In the early attachment stage is when you find that the original stage starts to wear off. It's not euphoric anymore. You are able to sleep without constantly dreaming and thinking about your favorite person. They're still in your thoughts, but not as much as before. However, you are now in a place where you feel secure and you consider yourself in a relationship with this person, and you even look at them as possibly a future mate. You start getting in that comfort zone based on everything that you experienced this far in the relationship. There's an emotional attachment and comfort that comes along during this early attachment stage, where you feel like you belong to them and they belong to you at that stage. Before you know it, you have formed this special bond between the two of you, and talk has been made. If you're not already married, you're talking about getting married. This is where you start sharing secrets that other people don't even know anything about. During this stage, you have probably faced some adversity in the relationship, but the relationship is strong enough to be sustained in spite of some of the issues that you face. This stage usually lasts anywhere from 2 years to about 5 years. By that time, you're probably married. In the third stage, what we call the crisis stage, when we enter the third stage called the crisis stage, it has us looking at each other to see if we can stand the test of time. By the time most couples have reached this stage, they have already gotten married. They have been in this relationship for almost 5 to 8 years. The problems at this stage are couples are beginning to drift from one another. This is very apparent, especially for couples who began at a very young age. And when that happens, it seems like your world has turned upside down. And when that takes place, if you can just weather this storm, you know that you can be together forever. What I mean by the drifting is that at this point you have either matured or changed, which could cause you really to drift apart. Maybe you don't like the same things you used to like, or you don't care about some of the things that you used to care about because now you've matured. The drifting can go as far as to having an outside affair, or even what they're calling now an emotional affair. The emotional affair is when one or both in the relationship begin talking and sharing some emotional or sensitive information with someone outside of the relationship who's the opposite sex. No, there is no physical activity. There is no sleeping around. But you ask anybody now, based on this emotional affair, it feels like adultery because all that information that you shared with someone else, you should have shared it with your significant other. If a couple can make it through this crisis stage and they're still together, loving each other, they are now ready to march into the fourth and final stage. And what do we call that fourth and final stage? We call that stage the deep attachment or the deep love stage. This stage is the calm after the storms that you've weathered during the crisis stage. Just like when an actual storm ceases, there seems to be nothing but peace, and that peace brings you joy and places a smile on your face. You are convinced that your significant other is there with you for the long haul. Let me say this. There will be problems in every relationship. I have them in mind, and I'm speaking to you about relationships. So I don't want anybody to think that any relationship is perfect. That is not true. But I believe the deeper your relationship goes, you fall into this deep love stage. You've decided to do life with this person, and the relationship is strong enough for you to hang on even when it gets hot. You realize that you have somebody special that you want to continue living life with. Have you ever seen an elderly couple that has been together for a long time, maybe 30 to 40 to 50 years? You ever notice that you very seldom see them arguing? You know why? Not that situations don't come up for them to argue, but they have gotten into this deep love stage where they understand that the arguments that they had in the past are not worth even having now. Now that's some deep love. Things that used to bother you when you get into this deep love stage, you see that they don't bother you as much, or even don't even bother you at all now. That, my friend, is when you hit that deep love portion of your relationship. And that's so special. All of us are seeking to get to that deep love. We've had a euphoric stage where it was new and fresh and just somebody getting to know somebody. We've had that early attachment stage where now we're becoming secure and able to tell different things to our significant other. We've had that crisis stage where problem after problem and situation after situation arise. But when we get to that deep love stage in our relationship, it won't always be peaceful. But I guarantee you this, there will be more peace in the relationship if you're working on it together. Well, that's all I've got for you. We're back and we're going to stay with you for the next 22 weeks. We're excited because in this podcast, we're just got so much planned for you for this season. We're going to be, like I said earlier, we're going to have more guests for you. We're going to be talking about recovery of relationships. We're going to get into the 5 love languages, and we're just going to have a great time educating people about couples and relationships. So as I go, I want you to remember this. It takes 2 to make a relationship work. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Relationship Therapy Podcast with Tony Miller Sr. We hope you have enjoyed this episode. Tune in next time for more insight on how to make your relationship better. If you have any questions, please email us at tmrelationshiptherapy@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, it takes 2 to make the relationship work.